Ready?
Yeah, ready. We're already online. So, but we can cut it off. Hello, this is Ingrid Auer. I'm from Austria, from Europe, but I'm living in Spain. And here I met a very, very nice and interesting woman, Zaira Leal. Hi, Zaira. How are you?
Hi, Ingrid. How are you? So great to be chatting with you online.
Yeah, technique is great, and so it's easy for us. We will do it in English, although her mother language is Spanish. She is from Palma de Mallorca, and Sarah is not only a normal yoga teacher. Who are you, Sarah? How would you describe yourself?
Interesting. I am a soul incarnated in this incredible body, mind, heart, and doing my work and sharing my life for a greater awakening of the planet.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that you have been with yoga when you are not born, when you haven't been born in the womb of your mother. Would you like to explain this? Because I like this story.
Yeah, this is really interesting. My parents were yogis before I was born. And so my path has always been the path of yoga and spirituality from the East. Even though I have a very holistic and integrative approach, because spirituality is the same for everyone in this planet. You know? Yeah. But we, in a way, are the limitations and the wonderful limitations of the matter and the mind oftentimes make us choose one language code for how we experience spirit in this body and in this lifetime. Mm-hmm. So my parents did yoga, but did a different type of yoga. They did devotional yoga with lots of mantras and meditation. We used to go to the temple when I was very small. Mm-hmm. And all that, even when a child is in his or her mother's womb, it's already living embodiment. It's already hearing and feeling and communicating with the mother and communicating with the environment. Mm-hmm. So since before birth, I was already experiencing this path of spirituality. Mm-hmm. But interestingly enough, it wasn't, my path was going to take a different route than my family's path, because when I was in my teen years, I discovered yoga asana, which is what most people consider yoga nowadays, which is the yoga of movement and postures for the body, etc. Mm-hmm. And I became fascinated with it. Mm-hmm. And after that, of course, I do a lot of meditation and mantra with myself and the students, and I teach that. But there was also a personal take on how my path was going to go.
Mm-hmm. So in our busy life, why is it important to integrate yoga into our daily life? Maybe also for people who are not the very spiritual one. I know everyone is spiritual, but some people have no idea how to get into this energy of meditation and so on. They also want to practice yoga. Do you have an idea or something to start with yoga? What would be the first step?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's a really good question, because you don't have to be, let's say, consciously spiritual to live a fulfilling life.
Yeah.
And nowadays, there are so many tools that people can use to lead a really happy and fulfilling life, and very spiritual without knowing it. Mm-hmm. One of them is the practice of yoga. And we always think of yoga as a path that has been the same for thousands of years. But that's not true at all, because the human being has been evolving through those thousands of years of our existence. So our approach to life has been changing as well. So if we think about the origins of yoga, maybe like 5,000-6,000 years ago, yogins didn't do as much yoga postures. What they did was a lot of meditation, a lot of contemplation, a lot of meditation in nature. But nowadays we need to add other techniques because our lifestyle requires it. We sit a lot, we're very sedentary, we don't eat, or most people don't have access to clean foods or even to clean water. And that kind of pollutes the sacredness of our vehicle, which is our body, mind, heart. So nowadays we have incredible yoga technique for moving the body. So the channel of circulation of energy and light into this plane of existence is the cleanest and the clearest possible. So what I always recommend is that people start from small. Let's say, okay, now I'm going to start with like small practice, every day, and maybe once a week I go to a yoga studio so I can work with a teacher and I can learn how to do yoga well, right? But if we have a regular practice of little by little, each day we do something to open and clear the body, to embody our spirit in this life, in this earth, in the most luminous way, then we're perfect. If you say, okay, I have more time, right? Or I really like it, then you can start to add longer practices through your day.
So there are many different kinds or types of yoga. How can a person find his or her most effective, not effective, you know what I mean, the most, how do you say in English? I have to find satisfying, or the most satisfying kind of yoga that he or she really likes it, because there are so many different kinds. How can you find it? How can you choose it? Should you try? Should you wait for a recommendation? Should you Google? How would you recommend to find the right way?
All paths of yoga have the same approach in terms of we all are working towards awakening, towards realizing our fullest potential. So, and then within that big umbrella of unity, we have different ways of embodying it. So some yogas are more dynamic, other yogas are calmer, right? But for me nowadays, at least in our Western culture, the most important yoga is the I can do it yoga, the accessible yoga. So when people ask me, I always say, okay, research and look for the studio that is the closest to your home or the closest to your job. Because those simple things will ensure that you start a regular practice. The intention in all yogic paths is the same. It's awakening. It is spiritual lifestyle. And then, let's say in the weekends, go and try different teachers, try different studios. And then with time, you'll be able to say, now I feel like the more dynamic practices help me more. Or, oh, I feel that I need in this period of my life a more quieting practice. But the most important thing is to start. And for that, we need to make it like easy. Like near home, near my job, to make sure that we really do it.
Absolutely, yes. You know people very well.
Tell me.
I said, you know people really well, because sometimes they are tired or lazy, and so they say, oh, I have to go there and there. So as you say, the closest place can help us to do it regularly. You
exactly.
you have written a book or two books. The one is Una fiesta para el alma. Would you
Aha, let me show you
yes.
this one.
Ah, yes. Mhm. Would you explain what's about it?
Yes. Una fiesta para el alma was a dream come true because I didn't think it was a book that was going to be published. I wrote it for the students, for my students in Palma. Mm-hmm. And it is a program of 3 months. Mm-hmm. And in that program, you have a practice that you can do each day. Mm-hmm. And you have a diary where you can write what has been your yogic experience each day. It is interesting because it doesn't only offer yoga asana practice. It's not only a movement book, mm-hmm. but it makes you think a lot about spirituality in universal terms, mm-hmm. but using yogic language and the yoga tradition. So each day you have a contemplation that you read slowly, and it takes not a lot of time because we're all very busy, but that it enables you to think about it and to feel it mm-hmm. throughout the day. Mm-hmm. So in the course of 12 weeks or 3 months, you will be able to experience a deep transformation. It's a rising of your own vibration and a connection with the global spirit. Mm-hmm. So it's such a beautiful book.
Yeah, you speak very fluently English. You told me that you have been living in the USA. So when I listen to you and when I hear about this book, for example, I thought you should translate it into English and publish it also in English language. Did you ever think about this?
Yes. Thank you so much for saying that. That's the publishing companies, they have their own system. Even though I write books, I'm not a very good writer in that terms. Mm-hmm. So I don't know very well how the publishing companies work. Mm-hmm. But it is probably something that I would love to see happening, and that it will probably happen. But I should talk to my editor, and I should be better at taking care of those parts of my work.
Do you think about working with people online? Is this also an option for you?
Yes, I do work with people online. Mm-hmm. So I do have sessions with people one-on-one online. Mm-hmm. And through the course of this year, I will start my online programs. Mm-hmm. So some programs that I ran either one-on-one as guidance or spiritual coaching, I will offer them as classes for groups of people. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm. I see in the background of your room my angel essences, like this one, for example. Our paths crossed by the help of the angels. We came together, or we met each other by the help of the angel symbols and essences. Would you like to tell about a few words?
Yes. I've always
how do you
felt?
What's your experience?
Yeah, I've always loved your work, Ingrid, because it brings such a high vibration from spirit into this earth. It really helps us see how heaven is on earth. Mm-hmm. And it really helps us see how we are supported by such incredible light beings that we call angels, and that we are not alone, and that life and existence is more than that we can see with our eyes. When I was a little girl, I had a lot of visions, and I had angelic friends that I used to play with at night when nobody was seeing me. And that has something that it's always stayed with me, even though at times of my life I didn't think about it, or it was like out of my realm. But for me to be in touch with the angel world is a very important part of not only of my life, but also of how I like to work with people. And your tools are incredible. Not only the essences that I use for myself, for my family and the clients, but also your cards are incredible. I just got the Lemurian goddesses cards. Yeah, they're so beautiful. Oh my goodness. And I
soft vibration and energy.
Yes, they have such a fine and refined energy. I've given them out to several friends, including my mother, because they are so beautiful. Thank you so much for channeling that into the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's my life path, or my life purpose. And so our ways, our paths are crossing, and we're working all together on the big shift of consciousness, of the big shift of energy. You in your place, in your way, me in my way. And so we're all working together. And if you watch how much has changed during the last years, it's amazing. And this encourages me every day to go on, even if it's not always simple. And sometimes you have some hurdles or boundaries. Everyone has this, but it's the best job of the life for me. Yoga is the best job. It's not really a job. It's a mission or something like this for yourself. So let's continue, Zaira. And thank you so much for this wonderful interview and introduction into the way of your way of yoga. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ingrid. It is always such a pleasure to be with you and to chat with you. Let's continue doing things together. And thank you to all the viewers.
Yes, sending out.
I send all my love. Yes.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.